Aloha, everyone. Welcome and thank you for being here. I am Ochün, Kiera, and we are just about at the cross-quarter day in between summer solstice and the fall equinox 2026. Just about there. It's windy outside where I am, and I do hope that if the sound of the wind feels a little disturbing as you listen to this recording, that you might accept it as symbolic of the energy of change that is present and inviting and available and blowing and flowing to us all, metaphorically, at this time. Yes, the wind is a powerful ally that assists us during very big transformational cycles of change. We can work with the wind to assist us in letting go of and giving to the flow of change. Letting go of all that is ready to be let go of. Letting go of all that wants to be let go of. Anything that we might be gripping or holding on to that is no longer of service to us. The wind works as an ally to move that energy, move that situation along, as it is at the same time, simultaneously, blowing in new energies that are available to support us. There are also many, many hummingbirds chasing one another right now, all around me. And so I do hope that if you hear them communicating with one another, that you might accept the hummingbird chatter and proclamation with one another. Their song that is very rapid, that you might receive that as a message of shared joy. Because while they are chasing one another around and letting one another know that they want this to be their territory and they don't want to share their territory, they are actually reminding us of the great medicine of play and joy. So I share these energies and spirits in this message as they are all around me right now, wanting to be a part of this space. So I would also like to share with you that it is very intensely wild around here right now, energetically and also quite literally. For example, yesterday evening, there were multiple deer on our hillside, and we witnessed something we hadn't seen before. We watched a buck run all around, and he was darting in one direction, then he would stop, wiggle his tail, and dart in another direction. And so he was making these diagonals up and down and across the hillside. And we could only see this one buck acting wild. So my beloved called out, "It's okay. You're okay. And it paused. Then it started again. We finally were able to see, as the other deer moved, that there were doe, female deer, in the area, and as well as other buck. So it seemed as if this was a display, maybe of his agility. And this is my imagination tuning into what might have been playing out in front of us. But I share that because while there is what could look like chaos or commotion or confusion in the environment, there is also the opportunity to pause and allow the imagination to create a different story about it. One that aligns with and resonates with the energies we do want around us, that we are inviting in. And I'm definitely, absolutely, 100% inviting in more play right now during these times. And that doesn't mean the chaos and the drama doesn't show up, because it has. It has quite a bit recently. What has worked for me when chaos has been right there interacting with me and wanting me to react, I've been able to pause and become very still, to find that neutral place within me, using my breath to slow down time, so that the urgency that other people have attempted to draw me into was declined. I have, using my breath recently, declined the pull that was attempted to get me into a state of urgency, a state of reaction, and to respond with kindness. Kindness to myself first, by choosing to not participate in the drama that was attempting to pull me in, to participate with chaos. So I was kind to myself. I paused. I slowed my breath, which slowed down time. That urgency that was targeting me was no longer. I dissolved it with my breath, which is like the wind. And in doing so, that doesn't mean that suddenly it was just all good, right? My response triggered a very emotionally charged response from the party, from the person that was attempting to have me react to their energy. When I made the conscious choice to not participate, it escalated the emotional charge in the other person. So I had an even greater force of energy then attempting to get me to react, to respond. And I'm in a season of life now. It's taken me a very long time and a lot of practice to get to this season. Let me tell you. I'm turning 49 this summer, okay? So I'm talking about a lot of seasons, a lot of relationships, a lot of experiences. I'm a grandmother now, okay? So this did not happen quickly. This has been a long process. But this season that I'm in life right now, I don't need any external validation. I went over 4 years without using Instagram. You know, I don't need any approval or even recognition or like or don't like. I don't need any comment or reaction or response from anyone about the life choices that I make for myself. And this creates freedom for myself to live my way authentically, and it creates more sovereignty. So as this person labeled me different things for how I was caring for myself by being neutral and stating, I'm not going to participate in this conversation any further. I'm wanting to honor you and give you respect to let you know that I'm choosing to not listen to anything else that you have to say at this time, or even what you've said already in the messages that you've sent me. I am disconnecting and I'm taking space. And I spoke my truth with kindness. I let them know this is not about you. This is a misunderstanding that has escalated into something that I'm choosing to not participate in. So to care for myself, I am disconnecting and I am taking space. And I am asking you to not communicate with me while I'm taking a space that I need. And again, I didn't need to hear their response. I had already heard what they were saying, and I choose not to let any of that become mine. Because it wasn't. And often in life, when people are very reactive and emotionally charged, then they can be projecting their own stuff at others. They can be accusational. So many things can come out of a person who is emotionally charged because they're not centered in their own heart. All those emotions that people experience, those are feelings. They're temporary. But they are not the truth of the person in their heart. So this is one situation. There have been multiple situations in recent times that have attempted to move me out of my center, move me out of the place in me where I am most creative, where I am most in my body, where I am most connected to nature and my heart. There have been lots and lots of attempts to get me out of that space to react. So I know that this is happening on a very large scale all across the globe for many, many of us. I wanted to share today that I am here. I am seeing the power and grace and creativity in each one of you receiving this today, knowing that you have all the tools you need to be yourself and to not be brought into emotionally charged situations by outside influences. I know that there can be so many things happening right now, right? Because change is present for all of us. We live on planet Earth, and Earth is going through its own rapid ascension. It's changing rapidly. And so we humans are a part of Earth. We are connected to the Earth. We are nature. We are like the cells of the planet. So as our planet is going through rapid, drastic change, so is humanity. And what is no longer of service, what does not serve our highest purpose, the greatest good of ourselves and of all of life, well, we're being given the opportunity to let those things go. And for those of us who might find it challenging to let go and who are still holding on to things that don't serve them, it could be a career, a job, a relationship, a home, a place of residence. It could be relationships with family members or spouses or friends. It could be what kind of volunteer work someone's doing, where they're at. Anything in a person's life right now that's inside, intuitively, they're getting the hit that's like, no, this needs to be let go. And people are not listening to their own intuition, not trusting their own intuition, and they're hanging on. Well, then, the change happens more forcefully instead of more gracefully. And we're all same. We're all going through this. We're all going through change. Everyone's experiencing change. There is no one person that is any better than, worse than anyone else. We're all in this together. But some of us have practiced tools that assist us in experiencing times of change with more grace and ease than with more chaos and destruction. So I want to acknowledge that wherever you are, you who's listening to this right now, wherever you are, in your relationship with change, in your relationship with letting go, in your relationship with releasing, in your relationship with receiving, know that wherever you are, it's exactly right for all that you have been meant to learn until now, for all that you have been meant to experience until now, because those experiences build who you are. And if you are wanting help, wanting tools, wanting to get clarity, wanting help with clearing some of the things that you feel that you're holding, that you're like, I've tried to get rid of this fill in the blank addiction, this relationship, and I keep trying and it just feels like it's attached to me. Well, I can help with tools for that too. What I have been learning through experience to do over the last 8 years has been to release, let go, remove, repair parts of myself that are in all ways, energetically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically. And I spent years, in the last 8 years, there was a period of almost 4 years, around 4 years, that I lived nearly isolated, nearly because I was with my beloved, but not seeing my friends, not seeing the outside world other than to maybe, go to the grocery store. I even didn't leave the house, and except for like every 2 weeks, I was just immersed in nature. So it was a chosen isolation because I learned how to be in the natural world and never feel alone. And during that time, nature began to communicate with me. It actually started even before that. I remember the very first time one of my houseplants came to visit me. Back in 2018, I was leaving my home where I'd spent the first 41 years of my life, and I gifted someone one of the houseplants that had been with me for a while. And that houseplant came to me in a dream a couple weeks later and said, I'm dehydrated. I'm dying because I'm not being watered. So I called my friend and I said, can I come visit the plant? And they said, sure, of course, come. And sure enough, it was in a place in the backyard that the person thought would get watered by an automatic sprinkler, and it hadn't been. Years later, I would overwater my tomatoes, and they would come to me in my dream and say, you're drowning us. We're tomatoes, and we don't need that much water. It's too much. So I said, oh, wow, okay. So I've had squirrels and birds and trees. So many parts of nature have actually stopped me in my tracks and spoken to me in their language, but yet I clearly understood what they communicated with me. And they've done it in my dreams as well. And so along with this, at this time over these recent 8 years, Spirit was communicating with me through my dreams, through my time out in nature, being quiet. And I have been taught by Spirit how to perform psychic surgery, to be able to identify spiritual attachments and to remove them. I've also now become so light in my body from releasing so much. Because see, the more we let go and the more we release, the more we become open inside to hold more light. Light is consciousness. We are light. We are beings of light. trauma, anger, resentment, all these lower formed beliefs, thoughts, feelings, those are the opposite of light. They're dense, they're dark, they're heavy, and they take up space within us. And the more we release those attachments, the more we release the harmful self-talk, beliefs, relationships, experiences that we hold on to, memories of events that don't serve us anymore, the more we are stuck in our head, the less light we hold, then the more disease that is grown within us. So now, when I travel, I'm never given so far the assignment ahead of time, but when I get to where I'm going, I am always guided to be somewhere where there are trapped souls in the environment. Could be from previous wars and battles. It's also been even from suicides, very traumatic deaths. And I help the souls to transit from being stuck where they are. So we don't ever destroy energy. We transform it. We move it. And the same sort of idea, if you will, applies for the soul. The soul is eternal. We are eternal beings. When our physical body dies, the soul continues to live. So we don't ever truly die, and yet we die multiple times while we're in a human body. And then we have a final leaving where our soul exits the body permanently. So if you are feeling like you want help, whether it's getting clarification about right now in your life, choosing a path, or need help with releasing and letting go, or you need some help with some entities, addictions, spirits that are there, attached to you, holding on to you, I am an ally. I am here to be in service to humanity's sovereign freedom and ascension. And if any of what I said resonated strongly within you, and you feel that you don't need help right now from an outside ally, that you want to perform your own healing, perform your own releasing, letting go, transformation, and change, then I strongly encourage you to follow your intuition. Because that ultimately is what we are all here to be, is the healer for ourselves. And that we have the occasional support session from someone who has already completed and done some of the clearing work that you might need help with successfully. So, like for example, I have biannual sessions twice a year, once in the summer and once in the winter. I work with a husband and wife duo, and it's wonderful. It's like thinking about a massage, right? Any of us can massage our own feet, we can massage our own shoulders, we can massage our hands and stuff, but to get a full body massage, it's best to go to somebody who has a wonderful reputation for doing amazing somatic body work. It's like acupuncture. I get acupuncture. I try to go once a month on the solar day of the month. There's 2 solar days every month. And if I don't go to both, I try to choose one. And same thing with acupuncture. I know how to clear my meridians. I clear my meridians regularly. And yet, having assistance by an acupuncturist so that I can lay down for 45 minutes and relax while the needles do what they're supposed to do to unblock, to open up for the balanced flow of chi energy in my meridians. Yes, please. Just like for our physical body. If you're not a herbalist now, it's great to know who your local herbalist is. Because while we're going through change and transition, parts of us need help. We are meant to be helping one another and supporting one another. And people have their own relationship with nature. So one person might be a herbalist. Herbs speak to them. Herbs communicate with them very clearly. And they've studied and know how to help people with symptoms in their physical body, emotional body, mental body, through the right application of herbs. Massage. There are so many modalities that help us as we're going through big change, and they're all important. Because when we're going through change, it isn't just one part of ourself that is changing. It's all the parts of ourself. So there's a physical change. There is an emotional change. There is a mental change, a spiritual change. We are a multifaceted, wonderfully magical, complex system of bodies. We have a physical body. We have an emotional body. We have a etheric body, which is where the psychic surgery I do comes in, because that's when I'm looking at your etheric body. Okay, we've got all of these amazing, intelligent bodies, systems, organs, and they need support from multiple different modalities, from different parts of life, parts of nature, sometimes other humans, sometimes just being in nature. So, yeah, I just wanted to share today that we're all changing together. We're all changing. And everyone's going at their own pace. And those who are kicking and screaming and holding on, well, it's all for the learning. But there are tools to help it be easier. Be more playful, be more creative, be easeful, be gentle. And I'm here as an ally and a guide and a teacher and a peer, always a student. I am here. You are not alone. We are not alone. We are together in this great big change. And we are changing to unify into a unified humanity that lives in harmony with one another and with nature. That's what this great big change is about. It's to unite us, to live in unity, all of humanity with our earth and all of nature, which we are a part of, living in unity. And right now on the path there's going to be a lot of turbulence as we have to go through the dismantling that is required, the breaking down, changing, and dismantling of what is in place now to build anew in unity, in love. I am here in service for humanity's unity, sovereignty, creativity, beauty, love. If you are interested in having a session with me, then please send an email and I will respond at my earliest convenience. Thank you so much for being here.